Hi, everybody, and welcome to The Up, the show that examines the upside of a kind of down situation. My name is Jack Stallman, the Don't Flinch guy. My co host today is my pet beard, Gizmo. So, let's go. This is the Up theme song. It's royalty free and it's not very long. So, in today's episode, I want to tell you about my friend Alice Herson. Now, that name might not ring a bell to you, but I promise you, you have seen her face in various shows. Maybe Dallas, if I can put the logo there. The Edge of Night for you soap fans out there from back in the day. And for people maybe my age, she was the mom on the sitcom Ellen, the Ellen DeGeneres sitcom Ellen. Anyway, hopefully those icons are in the right spot. Anyway, about Alice. I acted with her in a play 15 years ago. She's now 91 years old, so I decided to call her to check in. And she talked about the cool things that are going on in her neighborhood. It's a much younger neighborhood. She's lived in that house for over 50 years. And she talked about all the youth and the people coming, youth, probably my age, people coming by and asking her what she needs and delivering groceries. And she says she just leaves a little money out in the envelopes so they can go to the store. And kind of sounds like a drug deal. I'm not sure. But she's such a sweet woman, and she talked about how lucky she was to be in that situation. Unfortunately, not everybody is so lucky. Thankfully, we have organizations like lovefortheelderly.org. What lovefortheelderly.org does is they have you or me write letters. It's that simple to people who otherwise might not have any connection to the outside world. What they ask of you is to write a handwritten letter, not an email, and don't you dare even type it. Handwritten letter to somebody who otherwise might not have that human contact. And yes, they have checked, and as of right now, it is COVID safe to have mail going back and forth. That could change in an instant, but if you want to, here's the organization right here, lovefortheelderly.org. And I promised I would always keep these short, so I'm going to keep to my word. But if you stick around for a second, I'm going to share a couple stories about Alice in old school Hollywood. And in the meantime, thank you for joining the Up. And remember, in a world with so much downside, you can always up yours. Okay, so I promised you that I would tell you a couple stories about Alice. First of all, she is a really big sweetheart. When Hurricane Katrina came around, I was living in LA at that time, and so we were kind of neighbors. She volunteered to intake some people who were displaced, were actually moved to Los Angeles. And one of the people came in and was just obviously exhausted. And she said to Alice, she said, I lost my house. I don't have any clothes to speak of except for what's on my body. But here I am, sitting across the table from Ellen's mom. So the other story I want to share is Alice had me over for a dinner party. Such a surreal experience because of the B to A level celebrities that were there. John Glover was there. He was on Smallville for many years. Doris Roberts, who was on Everybody Loves Raymond. And Warren Stevens is probably not a name you know, but he is a classic actor. And so all of these heavy hitters are just sharing stories, but all the forks dropped, which was a big thing to say when Alice was cooking because her cooking is delicious. All the forks dropped when Warren Stevens started talking about Marilyn Monroe. He was friends with Marilyn Monroe, and I guess it was her birthday, and everybody had forgotten about her birthday, according to her, so she called him up, and he came over, and they walked on the beach. And I just thought that was the coolest story, that connection to old Hollywood. And so Alice was, and is, always good for that kind of stuff. Anyway, thank you for joining the bonus time on The Up, and we'll talk soon, friends.